Hi, this is the PowerPoint presentation for the open house that we were going to have yesterday, Saturday, March 2nd. If you come across this video and it's later than April or May of 2013, you'll want to contact us at openpathseminary.org for updated information. I'm going to start out by introducing myself and the program. As ever, if there are any questions, you can contact me via Facebook or my email if you have it, or you can contact the school at opstemplummgnostica.org or at yahoo.com. About me, I have bachelor's, master's, and doctorate, all in English. I've been trained to use multi-layered online classrooms. I helped develop an online classroom environment for an English department at a university level. At the university level, I use Blackboard, Vista, and Canvas. OpenPath has been in existence since 2010. I'll talk to you a little bit more about the history of that. I have worked for a fully integrated online teaching environment, both secular and at a recognized pagan seminary. I have a degree from Religious Studies Institute. I was a self-taught witch as a younger woman, but then I was later formally trained in a Hermetic tradition and a member of a formal coven. Academically, my leanings were toward Anglo-Saxon culture and heathen ethics. That became my religious path, while my academic path took another direction. While I was working on my doctorate, I became a self-taught ceremonialist, and then I was later formally trained in Teutonic journeying. I'm currently developing as a Seathkona and Volvakona. I have 2 blogs. Previously, I wrote at the Bad Witch Files, and now I write at eshaapple.wordpress.com, and I have a handbook coming out. My philosophy is that not everyone has been blessed with the ability to teach or the desire to minister. Those of us who are realize the profound benediction of living in service to others. Many see leadership as ruling rather than serving. We know this isn't the case. Here at Open Path, we expect students to give to their communities as they build a ministry that provides assistance to all who are in need. Unfortunately, those who would serve are often called upon to provide credentials that the broader world is ill-prepared to provide to pagan ministries. Often pagan ministers are compelled to buy degrees or ordination online from non-ministerial and predominantly secular institutions. One of your options at Open Path Pagan Seminary is to pursue legal pagan ordination through Nine Worlds American Kindred, and you can find us there at www.disertruth.org. In our ministerial program, you'll learn what you need to do to be a pagan minister, legally ordained and trained to perform sacraments, counseling, divination, and spiritual guidance. You'll also be listed on a national directory of ordained pagan ministers. This is the original concept. This isn't the original website, but Open Path Training was simply a blog on WordPress, and I had so many requests for assistance from people wanting to pursue formal training in pagan studies across the country. They couldn't find mentors that were willing and capable of training them. That we decided, well, I bound together with a few other people that I found to be very reputable in our community, and came up with a legitimate website for a seminary that was affordable and yet scholarly. We looked around and we could find kind of one or the other. Either it was very academically rigorous, and in that case very expensive, or it was affordable and not that rigorous. It was all very basic things that were available. There were some things that were in between, like basic things were offered for free, but if you wanted further training, you had to start paying more for it. We are a legally incorporated nonprofit organization, Open Path Sanctuary and Templum Gnostica, LLC, is our nonprofit corporation. Our dues are collected from students. That covers materials, the internet, websites, record keeping expenses, paper, ink. There's a lot of paperwork, and we use a lot of ink. All the fees that we collect go back into the program. Where we're at right now is that we have a brand new website that's up and running. I invite you to go poke around. Between now and April 1st, we're updating certificate programs. There are other churches, groves, kindred in the area that would like to offer ordination. However, they're not prepared to give the training that's necessary to have ministers bearing the name of their organization. So they've teamed up with us, and we will offer certificate programs for their students. They take their earned credits to their ordaining body, and that's when that organization agrees to ordain them. So we'll be adding programs in to account for those needs in our community. The classroom blog has been functioning since 2010. Of course, if you go there, you'll see that almost everything is password protected. It's there for our students and our students only. It's not for public consumption. We have an online classroom system, and it works with minor bugs. It's not to say that the program has bugs, but there are functions that we haven't figured out yet. One of my techies recently brought to me a new online classroom environment that we're very excited about. So we're going to set up a test run of that classroom and see if it works better than the one we're using now. If it does, of course, we'll switch over to whichever is best for our students. We're currently editing our record-keeping system. We have a large influx of students and members, and we find that we need to have more than just a folder with a 3-hole punch to keep track of everyone. So we're making a bigger record-keeping system. We have teachers, we have mentors, we have advisors, and we have a handful of techies that work for us, and we're expanding our ministerial programs, as I mentioned, and so we'll need some new teachers over the next year for a variety of ministry courses. If you're interested in applying to any of these, you'll go to the Document Center on our webpage. What we need is someone to teach grief counseling. We need someone to teach military ministry, and we need someone to teach prison ministry. If you're interested in teaching any of those ministerial courses, drop us a line. People often ask if a school is accredited. Before I can answer that, I have to let you know what accreditation really is. Accreditation is a government function where the government decides on standards for education, and schools either live up to or fall short of those standards. Because this is a religious institution, we are not required, nor do we really want to have the government involved in the education of our students. Some seminaries, notably Christian seminaries and Jewish seminaries, opt to have the government overlook their programs. We, on the other hand, don't. Now, there's distance learning accreditation, which has little to do with curriculum and has more to do with the functionality of the website and the email ends of the education program. Accreditation for distance learning is between $10,000 and $16,000, and that's just to apply for the initial reviews for accreditation. That cost goes up every time you want to add a course to the program, and you have to pay, not all of that cost, but you have to pay a good substantial amount of that cost for every degree that you offer. So schools that are seeking distance learning accreditation try to limit the number of degrees that they offer so that they can keep their prices down. If you're interested in knowing more about how this functions, you can go to the Distance Education and Training Council's Accreditation Handbook at detc.org. And as I mentioned, there's no mandatory accrediting body for seminaries per se. The separation of church and state allows religious degrees to be regulated from within the organization. I have had conversations with a few people who work at different pagan seminaries, and there is an interest in making an accrediting body for pagan seminaries. There just aren't enough of us to substantiate it. So once there is, and once we all bind together, then you can be assured that I'll probably be interested in jumping that train as well. You can see our page on accreditation at openpathseminary.org. It'll give you more information about all that. Many students will come to us interested in being ordained so that they can perform marriages and funerals. Ordination is offered, full ordination is offered through our Grove. In February 2013, we changed our name, and so ordination will now be offered through Nine Worlds Kindred. You can see more information about our kindred at www.dissertruth.org. There are also separate ordaining institutions, as I mentioned. They offer their own ordination programs that work in conjunction with us. We do the educating, they do the ordaining. After a level of training, ordination is automatic to those who are initiated with me. A lot of students come to us with real-world experience. Either they've run a coven of their own, they've run a grove or a kindred of their own, or they've been trained formally, or they've been trained informally, or they've been a solitary for a number of years. In these cases, we have decided to make an option to opt out of courses or comping. We're going to add the possibility that students who have prior experience in pagan studies can test out of certain courses for a small fee. Those tests are called comprehensive credit exams. And then some courses can be waived for students who verify previous training or practical experience. We're pretty liberal about what we're willing to accept as long as we can verify that the documentation fits the needs of the course and applies to the person which is listed on there. And there's a small filing fee for that. The ministerial certificate programs, which we'll be adding for the fall of 2013, include the Minister of Pagan Services. That requires 12 credits, 6 in pagan religious studies, and those can be comped or waived. 6 in practical ministry, those cannot be comped or waived. The Minister of Spiritual Counseling certificate requires 21 credits. It requires more religious studies, 6 of which can be comped or waived, and then 6 in practical ministry. The reason that one is higher is the Minister of Pagan Services is intended for those who want to be ordained for limited to conducting weddings and funerals and rites of passage and body easings and that sort of thing. The spiritual counseling certificate is intended for those who want to work with others, and therefore there will be more intense group work, training, psychology training, counseling training. And so that's where those extra courses come from. You can get an associate's in pagan religious studies. This requires 30 credits in basic pagan studies. You can get a Bachelor of Arts in Religion. That requires 51 credits. Keeping in mind that the more basic of these can be comped or waived. You can then go on to earn a Master of Divinity, which requires 81 credits, and a 50 to 60 page thesis. We offer 2 doctorates. The first is a doctorate in theology. The other is a doctorate in ministry. Both require 102 credits, but the way they're divided up is a little bit different. The doctorate in theology is more academic, whereas the doctorate in ministry is more ministerial. Both require a longer written work. The doctorate in theology requires a 110 to 125 page dissertation, which is more scholarly in nature. The doctorate in ministry, however, requires 100 to 125 pages of ministerial policy, ritual, or other organizational documentation. I don't want to talk about the initiatory training online too much, but if you want to drop me a line, either by Facebook or by email, that's great. I'll answer your questions. We provide a structure for formal initiation in Teutonic magic, seed, and spacecraft. You can go to our website for more information. Those of you who know me one-on-one, a lot of you have already talked to me. This is where you would be interested in joining the program. And like I said, we'll talk about it more on a one-on-one basis. You'll see that the tuition and fees are very reasonable. There's initial admission fee of $30. This covers postage and processing. The per credit dues for the certificate courses are $12. For associate courses, it's $15. For the bachelor's, it's $17. For the master's, it's $27. And for the doctorates, it's $40. You can refer to the American Academy of Religion for detailed explanations of what those different designations of degrees mean. There is a standard that most seminaries have agreed, yes, this is what a Master of Divinity means, and we abide by those standards. After you finish the necessary coursework, the fee for graduation is $55 and for ordination is $75. These are lifelong benefits, but it's a one-time fee. The fee covers record keeping, the certificate we send you, and the reference service. We offer wallet-sized credential cards, photo badges, and ministerial manual, whatever of those things you might need. We also offer student ID badges for identification. In traditional schools, students are given ID badges so that they can, have their ID while on campus. However, those badges also get them benefits at various merchants, and some people offer student discounts. We don't think that the work that you put into your pagan studies at Open Path is any less valuable than the work that you would do in a traditional college. Therefore, we will offer you a student ID badge as well so that you can obtain those discounts from merchants that offer them. You will work at your own pace. There's no minimum limit to the number of courses you have to be enrolled in. However, you can't be enrolled in more than 3 per term. That's simply because it puts too much of a weight on our instructors, and because our terms are so short, we feel that the outcome of your work would be less than par if you were to overload yourself with too many classes at once. We offer a family discount and a referral service, a referral discount. The course dues cover the course for the first adult. Each adult in the same immediate family with the same address and in the same course will receive a 30% discount. If you refer someone to our courses and they enroll, you'll receive a 10% discount on a full semester of tuition. There are teaching assistantships available. Upper-level master's and doctoral students can receive credit for doing practical ministry and can earn tuition credits for each course that they teach for Open Path. There are substantial scholarships for members of Nine Worlds Kindred and North American Kindred. You might be wondering how this compares to the prices of other pagan seminaries, and so I've put this together for you. There may be more out there. If there are and you find them, let me know. I'm happy to add them. The Avalonian Theological Seminary is a woman's-only theological seminary. It's private and you have to be a member of ATS. The Ardentine Pagan Seminary, they don't have terms so much as they have events, and they are a ground school in New Mexico. There's the Wolstenstein Theological Seminary. As far as I was able to find, this is the only accredited pagan seminary. It is distance accredited. It is a Wiccan tradition seminary. They use Second Life as their technology. And they have a membership program. It's $39 per month, and however many classes you sign up for doesn't matter. It's $39 a month until you finish the degree program. Witch School International is fairly famous. They're also a Wiccan tradition seminary. They also have a membership program. Their basic membership is free, but then you're limited to what you have access to. There's a monthly supporting membership of $5, a yearly supporting of $19.99, and a charter lifetime of $99.99. I was pointed to Ocean Seminary College, so I thought I would add that here. It's a free school. It looks as though they're funded through book sales and donations. But I was only able to find a catalog from 2010 to 2011. I know the school's been in existence a little bit longer than that, but I don't know what their current state is. And of course, there's Cherry Hill Seminary. They have foundations courses and master's courses. They use Skype and Moodle as their technology. Because they're the most talked about seminary, I thought I would let you know what their tuitions are like. Current Cherry Hill tuition rates are as follows. Their foundations courses are $95 per unit hour, and there are usually 3 unit hours in a course. Their foundations courses don't earn any credit toward degree. Their classes are, if I recall correctly, 5 and 5.5 week courses. Or is it 4 and 5 week courses? They're short courses as well. They have PCE classes, Pagan Community Education classes. Those are $80 per unit hour, and again, 3 units per course. The Certificate of Lifelong Learning is a total of 14 units, which gives you a tuition total of $1,120. Their Certificate of Pagan Pastoral Care for Helping Professionals is a total of 24 unit hours, which is a total of $1,920. Their master's classes are substantially more. Their master's degree classes are $145 per credit hour, and again, 3 units per course. A Master of Divinity is 72 hours, as is the Master of Divinity specializing in pagan pastoral counseling. The Master of Pagan Ministry is 48 hours, as is the Master of Pagan Studies. The Master of Pagan Pastoral Counseling is 60 hours. So your tuition could range between just under $7,000 to just over $10,000. The total cost at OpenPath is lower. Each level is completed. The next level begins with credit earned. So after you earn an associate's degree, your associate's degree hours go into your bachelor's degree. Then your bachelor's degree hours go into your master's degree, and your master's degree hours roll into your doctoral degree. Your comprehensive credit exams can be taken in lieu of courses to show proficiency in subject areas. Those are $10 per credit. Waivers of basic courses are $7 per credit. This really just covers the paperwork and the testing and the postage. An associate's in pagan religious studies is 30 credits at $15 an hour, so your associate's tuition would be $450. And you're eligible for ordination after the completion of 25 credits and 12 hours of practical ministry. So at that point, you can start looking at whether or not you want to pursue ordination. A Bachelor of Arts in Religion is 51 credits. If you subtract from that your previously earned associate's credits, that leaves you 21 credits that you still have to earn, and that is an additional $357. Same goes for the Master of Divinity, is 81 credits. If you have the bachelor's, then it leaves 30 credits at $810. And if you want to pursue the doctorate in theology, that's 102 credits, With your previously earned credits, that leaves you 21 credits at the doctorate level and $840. So this shows what each degree is with previously earned credits. So your associates, then your bachelor's, then your master's, then your doctorate. You would finish off after all of the fees of $2,707. If you opted for ordination, you would add $75 to that. Ministerial certificates may not always transfer to associate's credit, so you should talk to your advisor to discuss your options. They can, but you have to take the right courses. So if you think that you want to come back later and work toward an associate's degree, you should make sure that you're not going to be double taking courses. The Minister of Pagan Services certificate is 12 credits, so that's $144 plus $85 in fees. And the Minister of Spiritual Counseling certificate is 21 credits, and that's between $15 and $85 in fees depending on when and where you registered. That's the $30 difference. Some credits for the Minister of Pagan Services certificate may transfer to fulfill the requirements of the Minister of Spiritual Counseling certificate, but you have to talk to your advisor to make sure that you're taking all the right courses and let them know up front what your plans are. We do offer an early enrollment discount. There's a 10% discount for the first semester offered to students who enroll and register before May 31st, 2013. Of course, courses must have sufficient enrollment. If there's not enough interest in a course, you'll be given the option of transferring courses or obtaining a refund. Some courses have a prerequisite. Some are cross-referenced and count toward other disciplines, and some apply toward initiation requirements. These are always offered. They can be waived and they can be comped. These are the most basic of courses for those who have no experience at all with paganism or magic, so it's a very basic level course. If you have prior experience and can indicate that to us somehow, then these courses can be waived for you. So there's what is paganism and what is magic. All practical ministry credits have to be certified by the seminary before the student starts the project. It has to be a pagan project. It has to involve outreach or ministry of some sort. It has to have verifiable goals. And it can't compete with any other ongoing projects. We don't want any of our students competing with each other here. We don't want anybody to make it so that another student can't achieve their goals. The veracity of and the credit value for each practical ministry project will be determined by your advisor. Partial credit may not be given for incomplete projects. You have to finish the project in order to get credit for it. You have to pay for the credits when you apply for certification. If certification isn't granted, you get a full refund. In the fall, these are our early course offerings. There's Incense Basics, Magical Records, and an intensive study on the meaning of Wicca. Following that 3 weeks is a 5-week set of courses on understanding correspondences and substitutions, Norse lore and mythology, neo-pagan and heathen holidays. Following that is another 3-week term covering heathen ethics, magic names and how to go about obtaining one, and goddesses. Finally, following that is another 5-week term. Those courses are a study of Yggdrasil, a study of the runes, and public service. You'll notice that the course numbers get higher as the terms go on. That way, students who start out needing introductory classes can sign up, and as they work through their program can obtain the requirements for the upper level courses. Like I said, you need to talk to me if you're interested in the initiatory program. It starts with basic Hermeticism, moves toward understanding ceremonial magic or Seath, then into learning about Teutonic shamanism, and rounds out with an intensive study of Volfacraft. A lot of people are interested in the group Ulfolk that we have going on here in Auburn, Alabama. It's an oracular Seath group. That is completely separate and is done through the Kindred. It's available to experienced practitioners only and initiates. If you're interested in that, you should go to our website or contact me via email. Our ministry courses are in health ministries, community development, communication, rites of passage, public service, and special studies in religious rites in the United States. If you go to our website, you'll see the document center, and you will download and fill out the application, submit the supplemental material, including the non-disclosure agreement, and then send that back in, and you'll receive a letter of acceptance with further instructions. At our document center, you'll find our catalog, spring offerings, which are just winding up now, a registration form, an add drop form, a form for leave of absence and other requests, a request for graduation or ordination, an application for admission, or an application to be a teacher. The application deadlines for spring initiation, well, this is tomorrow, Monday, March 4th. I've talked to most everyone who has expressed an interest in being an initiate. There's also going to be a summer initiation, which is scheduled, for summer, and you'll need to let me know by May 10th if you're interested in that. There will be a fall initiation, but I'm not sure when that will be yet. The summer certificate programs, if you are being ordained by a body outside of Nine Worlds Kindred and Open Path Seminary, the deadline to apply for those programs are April 15th for the early part of summer and May 15th for the latter part of summer. To apply for fall academic programs or to apply as a teacher for fall, the deadline is July 15th. I have pushed that back as far as I possibly can and have to stand firm by that deadline. For more information, you can visit our website. If you have a more pressing inquiry that's not answered at the website, I welcome you to send me an email. Thanks for listening.